radicals is a very reactive. Reactive means like ions, when they go to your body, right? They are not stable. They go attack the healthy cells in your body for them to become stable. So this is what free radicals are. You see, oxygens that we consume every day, right? They must be stable like this. Must be, this is electron. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 electrons. Right, you see this one electron missing. Yeah, so any electron missing here, they are free radicals. So how oxidants work, right? They provide, because oxidants, they have a lot of electrons outside. So they they donate the electrons to the free radicals so they become stable. When we eat food, when our body processes the food, there is a cell called mitochondria. Mitochondria is a factory in our body. Like any factory, you will have byproducts, the waste. So the waste is free radicals. Oxidative stress is an aging process. So over the year, this free radicals is the one that causes oxidative stress. Oxidative means oxygen, right? Oxygen. So we consume oxygen every day. So oxygen can actually produce free radicals. External factor, if you can control, reduce chemical food. That one I think you can do, right? Reduce chemical processed food. Have enough sleep. Have enough exercise, but not excessive, not too much. Yeah, and drink a lot of water as well. Yeah, if you can treat your mental health, please go ahead. You can get some consultation and all. But another way you can try is, I think hydrogen is not a medicine. Hydrogen is not a medicine at all. It's just natural, just water, and you just try to consume more hydrogen in the water only. Okay, it can help actually. So hydrogen, what makes it different? They are very small, they are tiny, so they can pass through it easily. That is first thing, they are small. Second, they have no side effect. If you consume too much, right, too much H2 in your body, it will automatically remove one. So H2 will be able to decrease the bad free radicals and enhance the oxidative defense. First, what we worry is the brain. Brain will be the first organs that they target. They generate a lot of free radicals in your brain. So when you target a lot of brain tissues, right, what are the diseases? Parkinson, you know, right? Parkinson. Alzheimer. Alzheimer is like you lost memory easily. Aging. Aging actually can cause arthritis and all. High blood pressure. High blood pressure will have a very high risk for stroke.
Broadly speaking, we can categorize it into two: mental and physiological stress. So mental stress is worries and anxieties about maybe job insecurity, financial insecurity, that kind of thing. Physiological stress are the stresses on the physical body. There are things like illness that can affect us. There are pollutions, toxins in the food that we eat, in the water that we drink. All these things also cause stress to the body. And then there are also things like, for example, lifestyle stress, bad habits, sleeping late. All these things are interlinked. So mental stress doesn't happen on its own. It can also influence the physical body. Likewise, physical stress can influence the mental state of mind. So the job of dealing with stress is really down to the autonomic nervous system. That's part of our nervous system. And it's called autonomic because it's autonomous, it's involuntary. We can't really control how we respond to stress. There are two branches, parasympathetic and sympathetic, okay? And the way they work is like a seesaw. So when one goes up, the other goes down, okay? So if we look at parasympathetic, it's called the rest and digest part of the nervous system because basically that's what it does. It helps you digest your food, so you produce digestive enzymes, relaxation happens, and also a lot of healing happens in that state. Sympathetic is fight or flight, meaning you're ready to fight or you are fleeing, you're running away. So that is the sympathetic activity. Now, when the sympathetic activity is activated, you get three main hormones called the stress hormones which are released. That's adrenaline, noradrenaline, and cortisol, okay? And when the body releases these hormones, it causes the body to prepare itself for fight or flight. So on a daily basis, right, you fluctuate between parasympathetic and sympathetic because we need it to survive, okay? But after about 20 minutes to an hour, you actually rebalance yourself, so you go back into homeostasis. they can have very damaging long-term effects. Okay, so you can see on the left, you have an acute stress reaction. So the red line is sympathetic nervous system, which was your running away from the snake, okay, your fight or flight. The blue line is parasympathetic. So think blue is rest, digest, relax. That thunderbolt there is a stressor. That was the snake, okay? So the snake comes into the picture, and what happens is you go into stress mode. So the body releases adrenaline, noradrenaline, cortisol, yeah? So the red line goes up, but at the same time, the parasympathetic goes down. So you're not digesting at that point, your immune system is low. And then, lo and behold, someone takes the snake away, or it disappears somewhere. So what happens is you start relaxing, your parasympathetic goes up, there's a rebound, and you go back to balance. But if you look at this chronic stress response, okay, it's very different. So when you look at chronic stress, what happens is you have the thunderbolt, you have the snake, and you have a stronger stress response. So there's a bigger output of hormones that are released, okay? Because your body is sort of, it's so used to being in stress mode that it just outputs these hormones, okay? And then you get the drop as you do in the acute stress reaction with the parasympathetic tone. But unfortunately, once you remove the snake, the parasympathetic tone does not go up. You don't go back into balance, okay? So that's where the long-term damaging effects come into play. So you can't remove all the snakes from your life, yeah? You can't remove all the pollution in the air, etc. But what you can do is you can try and make your body more resilient to stress, okay? So you want to build your resilience. So if you can remember the graph where you had those two lines, you had the red line and the blue line, okay? The blue line is also called vagal tone. So what we want to do is we want to exercise that nerve as much as possible so that when we call on it, it's toned, it's like a muscle, okay? It's there. There are a few ways to do this, very easy ways, okay? One of them is humming. So when you hum, right? You, right? The back of your throat, you can feel those vibrations. That stimulates the vagus nerve. Anything that vibrates the back of your throat, okay, will activate the vagus nerve. So another thing we can do is breathing, okay? So there's a breathing exercise where you breathe in for a shorter count and breathe out for a longer count. So you say breathe in for 3, breathe out for 5, breathe in for 3, breathe out for 7, because the vagus nerve also attached to the diaphragm. So when you move the diaphragm slowly in that way, you activate the vagus nerve. And then there are other things, obviously, like yoga, tai chi, meditation, all those things. So okay, so there's quite an interesting activity that's gaining popularity around the world. Started off in Japan in the 1980s. It's called forest bathing. So you walk through the forest, you expose yourself to all these chemicals that are produced by the trees and the plants in the forest, okay? And these chemicals are called phytoncides. And what the phytoncides actually do for us, which is really, really beneficial, is that they actually stimulate the immune system. So natural killer cell activity increases. These phytoncides, all these chemicals are produced by plants to communicate with each other, as well as to repel bugs and bacteria, whatever's trying to attack them. But thankfully for us, it's very beneficial for us, okay? So for example, limonene and pinene, these two chemical constituents, those were the ones that were found to actually stimulate our natural killer cell activity. So your immune system is stimulated. The great thing is, all these phytoncides that you can also find in essential oils.